Welcome everybody, I'm 6am Comics, and this is reviewing my 11-year-old's comics. Well, technically he's 12 now, but he made this week's comic back when he was 11, so we're just sticking with that. I never should have used their ages for the titles of these videos. That was just a bad idea. In any case, it's been a while since we've analyzed the madness that is the Mark Man franchise. 7 months to be exact. And since then, we've actually gotten not one, but 2 more entries in the series, plus a 75-page graphic novel that I honestly don't know that I'm ever going to review that one, because I'm just not sure the human psyche can handle that sort of deep dive into insanity. So instead, let's take a look at the long-awaited sequel to Mark Man 3A, Mark Man 3B. Shall we? Beginning with the overall presentation, this issue carries all the hallmarks of a classic Mark Man comic book. It is presented in your standard black and white pencil, although unlike previous issues, this book utilizes the triple staple binding, something more commonly found amongst the worldwide comics productions. The cover features our 2 main opponents, the recently introduced Sidekick Man and Evil Marker Man. Between the 2 of them is the imprisoned title character of the series, Marker Man. As far as Mark Man comics go, this is one of the shorter issues in the series, numbering only about 5 pages. Milo brings his signature Stickman style once again, and for those who have been following the series since its inception, an obvious upgrade in stylization and even storytelling technique is clear from the get-go. We've got close-ups, shading, 3-dimensional illustration, and even some innovative pictographic typography. In addition to the artistic improvements, Milo branches out slightly in his lettering, running a tight ship as far as spelling and grammar go, but incorporating some intentional typos to better represent the somewhat low IQ nature of the characters involved. But enough about all that. Let's read this bad boy. We begin our book with the traditional To Kindergarten, an intro first established by the original co-creator of Mark Man, Milo's littlest brother, Levi. Placing consistency over accuracy, Milo has chosen to keep the inaccurate spelling intact as it is with the other comic books in the series, although with a clever approach of replacing some of the letters with little stickmen to help distract from an otherwise obvious typo. If we recall from the previous issue, Sidekick Man was about to face off against Evil Marker Man, who assisted Goo Goo, Choo Choo, and Spy Spy in the capture of our beloved hero, Marker Man, who remains trapped in a cage. Sidekick Man exclaims, "Ding ding ding!" indicating their match has begun. But as he prepares for battle, he realizes that Evil Marker Man has hidden himself behind a nearby barrel. Not one for playing around, Sidekick Man sidekicks the barrel in half, and nails spill all over the floor. Evil Marker Man sits down, irritated that he's been discovered so quickly. We see in the next panel that his proximity to the exploding barrel full of nails caused him to ingest some of the barrel's contents as he coughs up a nail. Shortly after, he begins projectile vomiting what appears to be thousands of more nails. The nails are so numerous that they completely overwhelm and cover up Choo Choo and Goo Goo, who have been standing by passively watching the battle. As they scream for help, Evil Marker Man angrily shouts out Sidekick Man's name.
Sidekick Man!
He leaps towards his enemy, ready to pounce. Sidekick Man, seemingly startled by the exclamation, yelps, "Ah!" However, we see that he's not frightened by the oncoming assault of his opponent, but rather he's scared of a nearby nail resting on the floor. In his fear, he launches a devastating sidekick, which by coincidence only, connects with the face of the oncoming Evil Marker Man. Ow! We're shown a close-up of Sidekick Man's teeth as they chatter violently, further demonstrating the fear that the nearby nail is causing our hero. Evil Marker Man lands harshly just past the nail in question. He rises to his feet, but is dazed and confused from the sudden impact as Sidekick Man continues to express his terror at the harmless nail resting on the floor. As Sidekick Man continues to plead with the inanimate object, Evil Marker Man passes out, and in typical Marker Man fashion, poofs out of existence. Or to wherever these villains go when they poof. Before he vanishes, however, he names himself Eve, keeping his name stylization in sync with the villains who have paved the way before him. The poof also takes the nail on the floor with him, making Sidekick Man very happy. Our two remaining villains, Choo Choo and Goo Goo, emerge from the pile of regurgitated nails and run away in panic. We cut to Sidekick Man greeting his good friend Marker Man, who is still imprisoned in his cage. Excited to see his sidekick, Marker Man slides between the bars and greets his friend back. However, he remembers he's supposed to be behind the bars and quickly runs back into the cage for a proper rescue. Sidekick Man then fulfills his duties and sidekicks the cage off of Marker Man as they both strike a victory pose. The end. If there's one thing I have to give Milo credit for, it's his ability to create a storyline that nobody would ever see coming. Both the cover and the opening panels imply there'd be a big battle between Sidekick Man and Marker Man's evil doppelganger, only to have evil Marker Man, or Eve as we've come to know him, run and hide. Interestingly enough, every character in this issue is somewhat handicapped by their own fears. The brothers Goo Goo and Choo Choo are too scared to fight Sidekick Man head on, so they rely on their cloned evil creation to do the work for them, only to run away scared as their latest plan is foiled by the aftermath of an upset stomach. Eve, for all he's hyped up to be, is really a coward at heart, relying on sneak attacks and misdirection for victory, but ultimately running and hiding when confronted head on. As for the protagonists, Sidekick Man is only victorious due to a knee-jerk reaction to his crippling fear of nails. And as for Marker Man, as it turns out, he could have escaped at any point, but was too frightened to break the rules and leave his cage. Oh, and don't even get me going on Spy Spy. He hightailed it out of there at the end of issue 3A, and is yet to be heard from again since. At the end of it all, Marker Man 3B isn't just a funny book about awkward stick people, it's more layered than that. It's a commentary on our personal struggles with fear, with confrontation, with taking a stand for what you believe in. Dare I say, the villains themselves are an inspiring allegory for life itself. Their iconic poof out of existence isn't a metaphor for death, as we've been led to believe up to this point. No, I'd say it's quite the opposite. Every villain who's poofed has always resurfaced by the next issue, plotting yet again to take down their own personal foe, often enlisting the help of others. If we really peel back the Marker Man onion, we'd find that this is exactly how we, as flawed and imperfect individuals, should approach our own shortcomings. Being poofed is simply a metaphor for defeat, but we should never let our poofs define us. We should re-emerge, ready to conquer our own personal Marker Mans. And when we can't do it ourselves, it's never a shameful act to ask our friends and family for help. Why, for all you kids out there, even your biggest bullies have their own metaphorical nails and cages that they struggle with. So insightful, so deep, so inspiring. But on an even deeper and more disturbing level, why'd you stop putting pigs in the Marker Man comics? Give the people what they want already, Milo. And there you have it, the glorious completion of Marker Man 3. Now, as stated earlier, there is a Marker Man 4, and even a Marker Man graphic novel, and we will certainly review both of them at a later time. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and give this one a rating of 1,000 nails. But yeah, what did you think of the highly unpredictable conclusion? And I don't know, what's your favorite Marker Man villain? I've got a sweet spot for Choo Choo, but I'm interested to know yours in the comments. But seriously though, where are the pigs? It's all about the pigs, man.